Could you tell us a little bit about some of the ways you do use external speakers in your teaching and how that has helped to make the instruction come alive?
Yeah, definitely. So I've always, when I first started teaching and I was like, oh, these are the books I have to read, I was always like, okay, why are we reading this? And I always go back to the standards. And now some teachers have their opinions about the standards, but I ground myself in them because, I have all these standards I need to cover. Like, where am I going and what's my end goal? I like goals, I like timelines. I'm a checklist person. So standards are great for me in that aspect. So I would sit down, and if my standard was writing arguments, okay, great. Students are going to have to write arguments, whatever career field they have to go in. So if we're going to read Frankenstein and we're looking at the monster and Victor and how they're arguing with each other, maybe the students are going to have to write an argument. And so I'm thinking about the authentic experiences that we could have students complete, right? So I was like, great, I'm going to figure out what my standards are, what my end goal is, how I'm relating this to the real world, and then I'm going to go out and find those speakers.
So, who were some of those speakers you brought in during the Frankenstein unit? I'm intrigued.
So I twofold. First, I did Skype a Scientist, which is a free program for teachers. You just fill in a Google form that they have on their website, and they push out different scientists to you. So we talked to different biologists about different bioethic issues that my students were going to study. And then they would write a research paper on the different bioethic topics that we had talked about with our guest speaker. And then the second project we did was for the Pulitzer Center, so local letters for global change. So students had to identify a local issue. They would go out and interview people for it. And then we also had the Pulitzer Center come and speak to us.
That's amazing that you were teaching the English standards, but connecting it with scientists, connecting it to those other content areas, which I believe is important because it really shows our students how everything is connected.